started in our hero pose today. So go ahead and, if it's comfortable for you, go ahead and find your space on your shins. If you have a block, you can bring it between your ankles and sit on the block, or not have a block at all and just sit on your heels. And just find that nice tall position here in space. If this really hurts the knees or it hurts the tops of the feet, go ahead and just find a comfortable seated position. And then I'll have you switch in a few moments. So let's just settle into this space. Start to turn inward as we let our shoulders start to settle down and let our outer eyes start to close down. And just begin to find that beautiful rhythm of breath that is moving in and through you. Just start to feel your breath, start to recognize your breath without controlling your breath. So today I had a beautiful just validation I felt from God. There was a beautiful fawn in our yard, which where I live, it was very surprising to have a little deer in our backyard. But I looked up what a deer represents or what a baby fawn represents just to see what was kind of unfolding. And it is a representation of grace, beauty, essence, and illumination. You are being requested to follow the wisdom of yourself and to continue forward. So it was just validation of everything that is evolving and growing in this world right now, things that are shifting, paradigms that are breaking down. And just that reminder of the simple things in life, of slowing down. So today we're going to be utilizing a 3-part breath. And I'll give you some words, but I want you to also ask your intuition what things you need to breathe in today. So based on the fawn that I saw this morning, we were going to take a 3-part inhale, breathing in grace, breathing in beauty, and breathing in illumination. But if there are words that better suit you, please use those words. And continue to just settle in and settle down as we are learning to allow the ground to carry us, learning to allow our body to be on the earth so we don't have to hold everything up and we can let the earth hold us. So in your mind's eye, begin to imagine that you are looking at a photograph of yourself from a time when you felt grounded. You were steady, you were safe, you were relaxed and at ease. This can be a made-up image or a real image, a real memory from your mind. And just notice and observe from that memory or from that made-up image what surrounds you, what's under your body. Is it the earth or the flooring? What do you look like when you feel grounded? What is your posture like? And what does it feel like to be you when you feel grounded and at home in your body? And just take any pieces of that you will. As you continue to feel that lift through the base of the skull, feeling those shoulders settle down, and feeling the weight move through the hips and down into the feet. So feeling free to open the eyes at any point. We'll start with that 3-part inhale. So as we inhale, we'll sweep our arms extended forward in front of us. Inhale, inhale, open to the sides, look up to the sky. And then inhale, final time, all the way up, draw the palms together. And then as you exhale, melt the hands down through the center. So we're gonna practice that a few times as we're breathing in that grace, breathing in that beauty, breathing in that illumination, and sealing it with love as we exhale, sending out that love. So let's just flow a few times here with our breath guiding us. And start to feel that expansiveness throughout your entire being. As you continue with that 3-part inhale and exhaling, melting down the palms, the heart center into the prayer position. And let's just do that breath 2 more times as we inhale that beauty, inhale that grace, and inhale that illumination, and send out that love. And last time with that 3-part inhale for right now. And we'll all meet here again with our hands at the heart in that prayer position just when you get there. And then we're going to inhale up with both arms, extend up to the sky, drop that left hand down, reach that right hand over, feel the side body opening up and expanding. And now inhale up to the top, drop the right hand down, left hand reaches over. And now inhale, reach both arms up. And now drop over to the left side, drop both hands down. Drop that right hand in the front, left hand behind you as you revolve. So looking towards that left area, either to the yard or wherever you are. So we're going to keep our right hand exactly as it is. And let's slowly unwind, bring that left hand and cross it on top of that right thigh. So now as you exhale, let the head round down. Feel the space in between those shoulder blades. And now inhale, rise up with the head, and let's come into our eagle arms. So slowly bending at the elbows, drawing the palms together. Feel free if you need a little release, just come up off of the heels just for a moment, or you can just rock off to one side if you need a little break here. So once again, feel the space between the shoulder blades here. One more full breath, and maybe raise up with those fingertips on that inhale, lifting up the fingertips towards the sky. And then slowly exhale, let the elbows lower down and unwind those arms, open off to the side, look up to the sky. Slowly melt the hands behind you, hands or fists, and we're going to lift up our hips for a moment. So lift those hips up. Your gaze can keep looking forward or look up to the sky. Listen to what your neck is saying. Feel those hips lifting away from the heels. Feel the tops of the thighs as you breathe into them. And then slowly exhale, drop the hips down towards the heels, walk your hands forward. And then we're going to inhale back up with both arms. And now look to the right, drop the hands down. Revolving, releasing, feeling that beautiful lift as we twist. And now we're going to slowly release just that right arm. So bring the right arm, cross it on top of the left arm, and bring it to the left thigh. And now slowly exhale, melt down with the head. Feel the space again through the back body. And now slowly inhale, rise up with the head. Let's bring the hands up, bending at the elbows, eagle arms on this side. Either palms or back palms come together. And breathe here once again, feeling the space between both shoulder blades. And breathe here. And now slowly on your inhale, lifting the fingers up towards the sky, even just a little bit. Feeling those elbows lift up higher. And then slowly exhale, let the elbows sink back down, unlock the hands, open up those arms, look up to the sky. And exhale, drop the hands down outside of the hips, and now let's shift our hips over to the right side. Keep that left hand there, and we're gonna inhale up with that right arm. Just reach over, get a little bit deeper into that side body. Keep breathing. And now come back, drop that right hand down. Let's bring our hips back over the heels, and then we're gonna shift off to the left side. So shift over to the left side, keep that right hand down. Inhale up with that left arm up and over. And feel the openness through that left side. Feel that expansion. Or right side, whichever side you're on. And now slowly lower that left or right arm down. Bring your hips back over those heels. And then we're gonna walk our hands forward, coming into our tabletop position. So now let's find that four-corner position. All right, so let's start to flow through that spine a few times. So let's move through that cat and cow breath. As we inhale, drop the belly, lift head, heart, and hips. Exhale, send that spine up towards the sky. So just start to flow and feel free at any point to move your body a little bit side to side. Just release whatever it's holding on to in either your cat or your cow pose. Just feel that fluidity inside of your body. And let's just flow through that spine one more time. And then begin to bring that stillness to your body and find that tabletop position. Really open those fingers nice and wide. We're gonna first extend that right leg back, sending the toes to the ground, feeling the flexion through the foot. And then exhale, let's release the right knee and go to the left side. So now lengthen out the left leg behind you. Feel the hamstring, the calf lengthening out, and then exhale, drop the knee down. So let's just do that a few times as we inhale, find that extension, exhale, find the flexion. So we're really allowing our breath to be our guide on our journey this evening as we get even more grounded, even more centered. And let's finish up with that left leg. And then we're gonna go back to that right side. So let both knees find the earth once you're finished up. And then let's extend that right leg. We're gonna draw it over to the left corner edge of the mat and look over that left shoulder. So now we're gonna kickstand that left foot over towards the right side of the mat and tuck that right knee behind the left and sink your hips back into that cross-legged child's pose. And really begin to breathe in here and settle into this space. One more full breath here. And now inhale, slowly come back onto both knees. Let's slowly lengthen that right leg back. Bring that left foot back into alignment and draw that right leg back to the right side. But let's keep those toes pressing in. So keep that right leg extended. Really plant those hands into the earth. And now lift up that left knee away from the earth. Hover it above the ground. Engage that core. Feel that navel reaching to the spine. Keep breathing. Feel that heat starting to turn on. And now exhale, drop that left knee down, and let's return the right knee to the earth. And now let's go to the left side, so lengthen that left heel back. Now draw the left foot over to the right corner edge and look over the right shoulder now. Feel that contraction through the right side body. And now we're going to kickstand that right foot over towards the left side of your mat. And then draw that right knee or left knee behind the right knee. And then sink your hips back. Keep those arms reaching forward. Just feel the weight of the belly as it presses into the thighs. And on your very next inhale, slowly draw your weight back forward, releasing back to both knees. Let's lengthen out that left leg. Bring that right foot back aligned with the right leg, and now draw that left leg back. Bring it up, aligned with the hip. So now let's send those toes into the ground, anchor the palms in. Lift the right knee above the earth, hover it above the earth. Really work that core. Got one more core exercise after this. Keep breathing. Keep that gaze down at the mat in front of the hands. One more full breath. And exhale, drop the right knee down, then the left knee. And now we're going to walk our hands forward, finding our downward dog position. So flex your feet, send those hips to the sky, and start to pedal out our legs. Start to shake out that head. It's amazing how much dog hair you can accumulate just by sitting on the floor. And just shake it all out. Feel the tailbone reaching up to the sky. Feel that navel reaching in and back. Feel those shoulders plugging in. If there's any pressure in the wrists, go ahead and lift the heel of the palms away from the earth. I like to suggest you put a washcloth or something under the heels of the palms so they're more supported, but if you don't have anything, you can fold your mat. So now we're going to begin to still those heels, seal those legs, and then let's widen the feet. Let's bring them at least the mat width wide or slightly beyond your mat width, and just shift your hips side to side. Let's open that space in that sacrum. And just let your hips shake or sway side to side. And now begin to still those hips, bring them back to the center. Walk your feet back in hip distance apart. And we're going to inhale, finding our plank pose. So find your strong, powerful plank or kneeling plank. And then we're going to lower down to the earth. So slowly shift your weight forward, hug the elbows in, and find whatever version of cobra, maybe the full cobra or just your mini cobra. And then when you're ready, exhale down towards the ground. Keep those elbows hugging in and press back into child's pose, tabletop, or downward dog. Continue to feel those fingers and palms root in. So now we're going to start to bend the knees. We're going to start to look between the hands and either step, walk, hop forward into your forward fold position. Feel free to grab any support you need. If you need a block, grab that and bring it underneath your hands. And just let the crown of the head fall heavy, as maybe that belly is resting on those upper thighs. Feel the length through the back of the legs. And feel yourself just let go. And if you're holding on to anything, go ahead, release your hands. Let's inhale up into our active back extension. Inhale, fingertips plug into the shins. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. And we're going to start to slowly roll up. So bend the knees and draw those hands out to the side. Inhale, all the way up and melt the hands down to the heart. So we're going to pause here in mountain stance. So let's pause with our hands in that prayer position. Let's close those eyes down. And let's start to settle into this space and really root in. So now as you are standing straight and tall with love in that mountain stance, in that powerful stance, I'd love for you to envision one of those sands of time. And envision that you've just flipped over that sands of time and the sand is beginning to drain down. But imagine that that sand is in you and it begins to drain down from the crown of your head through your neck and to your shoulders. Take that inhale there. And then on the next exhale, feel that sand drifting down through the chest, the torso, all the way to the hips. Feel that expansion in the belly. And then exhale, feeling the weight of the sand go down through the legs, down into the feet. So now feeling the heaviness of the feet as they root in. Feeling the space beneath the feet as those feet become even wider and those toes begin to expand. And now feel the toes begin to root in and really feel the weight through the lower half of the body, especially through the feet. It's almost as if they're sandbags. And as you exhale even further, melt the hands down, let the hands rest by the hips. We're going to go back to that 3-part inhale. So as we inhale, rise up, arms parallel to the earth. Inhale up, open to the sides. Inhale all the way up. Hands come up overhead and melt down through the center. So just follow that 3-part inhale here for a few breaths as you continue to root in. And breathe in those qualities of beauty, grace, illumination, and seal that in with love. And we'll do that one more time before we begin our next flow. So we'll all meet back here in this powerful mountain stance. Hands are at the heart, and we're going to start to create a flow with our chair stance and our mountain stance. So as we inhale, let's sink back into our chair, reach your arms forward and up. And then inhale, rise up, mountain stance, arms float down by the hips. Sink back, exhale, chair. Inhale, rise up, mountain. So we're just going to continue that flow, watching, mirroring our breath. Continuing to follow that breath. And continue to feel that weight in the lower half of the body as it supports the upper half of your body that feels so light. So feel the heels as they root in as you sink into your chair. And continue to feel the feet the entire time. We'll flow to our chair pose, 2 more breaths. Last time, chair on this side. And if you can hold that chair, we're going to bring our hands back to our heart center. Keep those knees as much as you can behind those toes. Hold that chair. And we're going to step that right leg back into our high lunge. So take a big step back with that right foot. And then we're going to come back to that 3-part breath. But let's pause here for this moment to really root in. Feel those hips hugging in and feel that rear thigh. Feel the top of the thigh reaching up towards the sky. So now let's come back to that breath. Let the hands melt down to the center. Take that inhale, arms parallel. Inhale, expand open. Inhale, rise up and melt down on that exhale. So keeping that balance here as well. Keep that breath, following that breath, and breathing in those qualities. That beauty, that grace, that illumination, and love. One more time with that 3-part breath. And we'll pause with those hands back at the heart center in that prayer position. We're going to slowly revolve towards that front knee. Start to revolve. Feel free to come low or stay high. You may need a little break. And we're going to slowly release our arms, let the hands float down to the earth, and come into pyramid pose. Slowly lengthen out that front leg. Now feel those hips hugging in. If that hamstring, that front leg is still too tight, keep a slight bend through that knee. And now on our inhale, let's rebend that front knee, and we're going to pivot that rear foot. So we're preparing for a warrior two. So pivot that rear foot so it's parallel with the short edge of your mat. Either use the support with that left knee or reverse cartwheel up with those arms into your warrior two. And let's create that powerful warrior two here. As we settle in, shoulders sink down. Turn those palms up for a moment. And then turn the palms back down. Feel the weight now through that lower half of the body. And here we're going to create that flow as well tonight. So as we inhale, we're going to move into reverse triangle. Slowly extend the front leg, reach up to the sky. And then exhale, bring your arms out to the letter T and reach out into triangle. Reach out from the hip to find your support. Stack those shoulders. And then that inhale will bring you back up to the top, moving back to your reverse triangle. So you flow your timing, your breath into your triangle and reverse triangle position. Holding whichever one you need. We'll flow through each one more time. So finding that final reverse triangle here. And then that final triangle pose. Feel free to finish up when you're ready. And then we'll slowly come back. We'll all meet back in our warrior two again. So kind of tidy up the position. Bring that inner knee towards the outer wall or towards the back knee. And we're going to start to heel toe that rear foot in. So just start to heel toe that rear foot in. And then we're going to lower down that left hand in front of the left foot. So we're getting ready for half moon. So we're going to keep our right hand on that right hip and slowly draw that right foot off the ground and finding that half moon. So you may need to come to your fingertips or use a block underneath that hand. I like using a block for me because that extends that arm length. And then try to get those hips stacked. Get the shoulders stacked. Use whatever support you need if you're outside on the deck. So think about both hips, especially that right hip is opening here. So just mindful of how you're feeling. Keep your gaze looking down at the mat if the balance is not there today. We're going to slowly begin to release down, lowering down the right arm and the right leg. Bring that right foot behind the left foot. So it's almost as if the pinky toes are reaching towards each other. You may need to grab your block here and bring it underneath your hand. So now we'll start to sway that right hip forward and back. So let the knees bend as much as they need to, just a gentle sway forward and back. And feel free to come up to your fingertips with your hands on the top thigh if you can't reach the ground. And last sway. And now return yourself back to the center by uncrossing that right leg. Bring it back to the right side. And let's find our forward fold. Just hang heavy here. Notice how that right hip feels compared to the left. Just observe. Maybe just take one moment to just wrap your hands on your elbows and just rock a little. Release what you were holding on to. Feel the weight of the sand moving down through the soles of the feet. And now release what you're holding on to. Let's inhale up to our active back extension. Keep that belly button reaching to the spine. Keep a nice flat back, plug in those shoulders. And now inhale, bring the arms out to the letter T, and then inhale all the way up. Hands melt down to the heart center. Feel those feet rooting in. All right, we're gonna go back to our flow again. So we're gonna do that chair mountain stance flow. So as we inhale, reach those arms forward, sink those hips back. Feel the weight go through the heels and through the hips as you sit back on that chair. And then inhale, extend up to mountain stance. Exhale, sinking back into your chair. Inhale, rising up, going nice and slow and controlled, as moving into the pose and holding the pose is just as important as the pose. Can you lift your toes up while you keep those heels rooted in? Keep that activation through, back through those hips, back through those heels. We've got one final chair pose that we're gonna hold. So go ahead, sink back to that final chair pose on this side. And we're gonna slowly draw the hands to the heart, prayer position. We're gonna step the left foot back, high lunge here. So wiggle those toes back there. All right, plug those palms together for a moment to really settle yourself in, stabilize yourself. Feel that front knee stacking directly above that front ankle. And now let's go back to that 3-part breath. Lower the hands down in front of the hips. Inhale, parallel. Inhale, open. Inhale, up. Exhale through the center. So follow that breath. Slowing that breath down. Making it even smoother. Even calmer and more relaxed. Beautiful. Let's flow through that final breath one more time on this side, that 3-part breath, breathing in that beauty, that grace, and that illumination. Let's seal that in with love in our heart, bringing the hands to the heart center. And now we're gonna slowly revolve towards that bent knee, towards that right knee. Stay high or come low. That right hip is probably talking to you. And breathe here. Send that breath where you feel that tightness and that tension. Feel it dissipating with every breath you take. And if you're high, we're gonna slowly come down. If you're low, just begin to unbend those arms, bring the hands up, framing that front foot and moving into pyramid. Slowly shift your hips back. Send that forehead towards the shin or knee. Now hug in through those hips. Feel the left hip reaching forward, right hip reaching back. We'll slowly begin to bend that front knee and then begin to pivot that rear foot. So now it's parallel with the short edge of your mat. Either use the right hand on top of the right thigh or reverse cartwheel up with those arms into your warrior 2. And if you need a little more space, heel toe that rear foot back. Send that energy out those right fingertips. Soften those shoulders. Now feel the sand moving down through the head and neck and shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, feel the sand move down through the chest, torso, and hips. Feel that expansion in the belly. And exhale, feel the weight moving down through the legs to the feet. Feel the feet root in. And now let's find our reverse triangle. Inhale, extend the front leg, reach up to the sky. And we'll begin that flow now that we're rooted in, moving from reverse triangle into triangle on your breath, your time. And just notice and observe how this side of the body feels compared to the other. Feel free to shift the gaze at all at any point. You can always look back at that rear heel in your reverse triangle. And we'll all do that one final time, flowing through both poses. And then we'll slowly make our way back up, moving back to our warrior two, settling back into the pose. Feeling that left hip relax down. So now we're gonna start to heel toe that rear foot, that right foot in, that left foot in, sorry. And then we're gonna slowly drop that right hand down in front of the right foot or grab your block at that low or higher medium setting. And now let's slowly lift up that left leg and left arm, trying to stack the shoulders, trying to stack the hips with the toes pointed towards the long edge of the mat. So really utilize that core here. Feel free to come up against the wall just like we did in class before. Let that wall support you so you can find that openness through the left hip. Keep breathing. No judgment, no expectations. Let them all go. Slowly begin to lower that left leg down. Slowly bring it back behind the right leg and bring a block underneath your hands if you have it. Or bring your hands up to the top of the thighs and then just gently rock the hips to the left and then back. So just feel the left hip reaching forward and back in space. Let those knees bend as much as they need to here. Keep breathing, especially in through that left hip. Finish up that side, so just let that hip rock forward and rock back, and let it send back in space. Slowly uncross that left leg. Bring your body back aligned with those feet and let your head fall heavy again. Forward fold. So from here, we're gonna come into our blissful toes. So keep your hands on the earth, slowly bend the knees, come onto your toes. Let the top of the thighs become parallel with the sky or the earth. And then exhale, send the heels down, find your forward fold. So we're gonna do a couple of those. So we're inhaling, finding that blissful toes, that squatting position. And then exhale, finding more length through the hamstrings. Two more times. And last time, just finishing up the blissful toes. If you want to add in a little more balance here, go ahead, bring your hands on top of the thighs. And then if your hands can, you can bring them to the heart. Find that balance. Find that powerful, even mountain stance. Head, shoulders, hips aligned. And now melt the hands down to the earth. Slowly let the heels come down, forward fold. And then we're going to take that right foot and we're going to step that right leg back. Wiggle the toes back there into your low lunge. Slowly let the rear knee find the earth. Let the foot relax down. So here, if you want, you have blocks, go ahead, grab those blocks or come up onto your fingertips. If that feels okay, bring your hands up on top of the thigh. So make sure you're right above that kneecap on that rear knee. Add any padding if you need it underneath that rear knee. Fold your mat if you need to. So we're going to keep that left hand on the thigh. Inhale up with that right arm and then reach that right arm over. So if you can touch the left hand outside of the hip on the earth if it reaches, or you can bring that block underneath your hand. Bringing it right underneath the shoulder. And now slowly come back to the center. Inhale up with the right arm. Frame that left foot. And now let's sink our hips back. Extend the front leg. Feel free to sink back as far as you would like. If you'd like to sink those hips all the way back onto the heel, go ahead. That might take you just a little bit deeper to get through that hamstring, so choose what feels best for you. If the knee is screaming, listen to it. And now, as we begin to inhale, slowly inhale, shift the weight back forward. We're going to slowly lift up that rear knee. And then we're going to start to wander. So let's walk both hands inside of that left foot. Start to wander to that right corner edge. Reach those hands diagonally towards that right corner edge. And then slowly inhale, walking back, reframing that front foot. And now let's ground through both hands. Stepping back to downward dog. Anchor in, really anchor in the right foot because we're going to lift up that left leg to the sky. And then start to bend the knee into that attitude position. And now lift up that right armpit. So now we can square off those shoulders with the front edge of the mat. Feel that left hip opening. And now slowly extend that left leg, turn the toes down towards the earth, and then lower the foot down. Find your downward dog. And let's slowly inhale forward into our plank pose, strong, powerful plank. Either come down to the knees or melt down to the earth, your time, your breath. Find your cobra or up dog. If you want to press through the top sides of the feet to up dog, you can do so as well. But no matter where you are, let those shoulders soften down. And now let's exhale, melt down to the earth and pressing back to tabletop down dog or even child's pose if you need a break. Listen to your body. So now we're going to start to bend both knees. We're going to look again between the hands. If you're not in down dog, join us in down dog. Start to step, hop, walk forward, forward, fold. And while we're in our forward fold, let's revolve here. So let's bring the right hand in front of the right foot, bend that right knee, and inhale up with that left arm. And now slowly exhale down with the left arm, re-extend the right leg. And now bring the left hand in front of the left foot, bend the left knee, inhale up with that right arm. Feel free to bend that right knee if you need to. And now exhale down with that right hand. So then we're going to step that left foot back, wiggle the toes back there into your low lunge. So once again, slowly lower that knee down to the earth. Walk it back so it's right above the kneecap. Bring the padding under there if you need it. And now let's slowly come to our fingertips. And then bring your hands up if you can to your thigh. Pause here, feel that openness through that left hip flexor. Breathe here. So then we're gonna lift up that left arm, inhaling it up, and then reach it to the right. So the right hand can stay there on the thigh, or it can reach down to the earth outside of the leg. Feel free to grab your block underneath the hand. So breathe in, feel really deep into that, through that psoas muscle. Keep breathing. Send it to that tightness. Send it as it releases. And let's slowly bring ourselves back into alignment. Reach that left arm up and then let both hands float down, framing that front foot. And now sink your hips back in space. Slowly extend the front leg. Staying here or sinking further back. Or just flexing the foot, drawing the toes to the sky. Breathe into the back of the leg. And on your very next inhale, slowly inhale, walk your body back forward. Bring that front knee right over that ankle. And now we're gonna lift up that rear knee away from the earth, and we're gonna start to wander towards that left corner edge. So bring both hands inside of the right foot and walk your hands diagonally, reaching towards that left corner edge. And slowly begin walking in on that inhale. Walk your hands in, frame that front foot. Let's slowly send that right foot back, downward dog, stepping back. Settle in. Feel the left foot root in, and then we're gonna lift up that right foot up to the sky, three-legged dog. Now bend that right knee, opening up that hip, and now lift up that left armpit. And feel that right hip opening. As you breathe slowly and deeply, soothing and relaxing, releasing and letting go. And now slowly re-extend the right leg, turn those toes back to the earth and drop the right foot down. Inhale forward to your plank pose, kneeling plank. Slowly lower down, finding your final cobra, wherever that is, or upward dog. And now exhale, melt down towards the earth. And let's lengthen both arms forward. So reach both hands forward. Now we're gonna lift up that right armpit so we can thread that left arm underneath that right arm. Slowly draw that right knee up and then open up with that left arm. As you open up, I'm sorry, that right arm, I got confused. As you open up that right arm, so now you're looking up to the sky. Your shoulders are touching the earth as you revolve to release that spine. Breathe in through that right hip and glute. As you exhale, feel it beginning to release and invite it to relax. And relax even more. Feel as if that sand is just settling into the areas of the body that are touching the earth. Just allow another full deep breath here. As we slowly begin to draw that right arm back on top of the left. Slowly release that right knee down. And now reach that right hand forward as you unthread that left arm. And now both arms are reaching forward again. And now lift up that left arm. And now we can thread that right arm with the palm facing up under the left arm. And now draw that left knee up. Open up with that right arm, left arm. Did it again. So open up with that left arm, threading your body open. So now you're looking back to the sky again. Now breathe in through that left hip. In through that left glute. And invite it to relax even more. Feel the weight of the sand moving through the hourglass, settling down to the bottom. And last full breath here. And let's slowly draw that left hand back. Slowly release that left knee down. Now reach that left arm forward and unthread that right arm. Now just rest here for this moment. Let your hands rest by your hips. Just rest on one side of your face for this moment. Let your body soften down to the earth. Feel the weight move through the front, down to the front body, through the back body. And now barely lift your head, only enough to flip your gaze. Just look the other direction to release your neck. And now flip your gaze back to the center. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Let's inhale up into tabletop. Let's open up those knees. Walk your hands back. Glue your big toes together. And now sink your hips back. Child's pose. That wide knee, child's pose. And feel free to bring your hands underneath your forehead. Just pillow those hands under the forehead if you'd like. Continue to feel the weight settle into the front body. And just gently rock your forehead side to side. Let all that tension melt out through the forehead. Let those thoughts begin to still. And slowly your forehead begins to become still. The rocking begins to stop. And slowly bring your hands out from underneath your head and press yourself up onto your heels. We'll draw those knees back in and we'll just rock our body off to one side. So we're going to end today in a seated meditation. So go ahead and find a nice, comfortable seated position. If you're really feeling so inclined, you can go to your spine and lie on your back. So find whatever position feels best. And if you are joining me seated today, go ahead and move the fleshy part of your butt off to the side to really root those seat bones in. And then let your hands rest heavy on your thighs. Whatever feels appropriate. Palms open to receive, or down to seal in that energy. So now feel the base of the skull reach up to the sky as you feel the spine lengthening out and the shoulders softening down. And just pause here for these few moments. As your awareness moves and follows your breath. Noticing where one breath begins and ends. That constant giving and receiving. That effortless reminder of the law of circulation. How we must give in order to receive. And how we must be able to receive in order to fully give. Focusing on your exhale getting even longer, even smoother, and more relaxed. Now begin to bring to mind the image of the hourglass or the sands of time that I mentioned earlier. And just imagine that it was turned upside down and the sand is emptying from the top to the bottom. And now envision your body as an hourglass and drain the sand out of your upper body down into your lower body. On 3 exhales. On the first exhale, let the heaviness empty from your head, neck, and shoulders. Pause and enjoy the inhale. On the next exhale, feel the solidity draining down from the shoulders, chest, down into the belly. And let your inhale expand your torso. Exhaling again, allowing the sandiness to leave your body, down the belly, and flow down into your pelvis, legs, and feet. Feel your seat expanding into its outline. Let your body land and ground completely. And begin to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, feeling the breath under your hands. And for these next few moments, allow yourself to stay grounded as your breath flows in and out of your body. Feel free to let your hands rest down again at any point. And it is okay if you are repeatedly pulled away from your breath. But each time you drift away, don't make a big deal about it. Simply invite your attention back to your breath. Back onto that breath. Now begin to feel and sense that warmth underneath your palms, feeling that warmth moving through to the heart and to the belly. And now slowly bring the hands together and just gently rub the hands together. Feel the warmth in the palms. And now let's slowly just bring the heels of the palms onto the eyes just for a moment. Sealing that warmth and that love into your eyes so that you can see from that childlike view, from new eyes, from a new perspective. And now slowly release the hands, bring the hands to the heart center in that prayer position. Slowly bow, saluting and honoring yourselves, your efforts. And begin to breathe in that grace, that beauty, and that illumination. And from my heart to your heart, I'm wishing you all a beautiful and blessed evening. Together, we lift our head and open our eyes and say, Namaste. Thank you guys so much. Hold on, I'm going to go ahead and stop this.